Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Supergirl Being Super. And before I start talking about this issue, of course I want to give you guys an update of Comic Uno episode 176 being posted on Friday. That's show where I review all the comics I've read this week in one show. If you want to go check that out, that'll be annotated, like I said, on Friday, and the exclusive comics for that show are in the description below. But let's start talking about Supergirl Being Super issue 1, which I did read digitally. I will be getting later today, printed. Very excited to buy this book printed. This was one of my most anticipated books of probably the year, not just the week. I've been kind of disappointed with Supergirl in recent years, not just recently with DC Rebirth, just recent years in comics, especially because you have such an awesome show on with Supergirl, the TV show. I kind of want the comic books to have as much awesomeness that the show does. But with this book, it's out of continuity book, so it's not restrained by anything. It can tell its own story, and it concentrates on a teenage Supergirl, which usually that's the age Supergirl's focused on, even though with the TV shows she's a young adult. She's usually a teenager in the comics, depending on what you read, but she's usually a teenager. With this book, like I said, it's out of continuity. It is larger, so it's about 50 pages, and it's going to be coming out bi-monthly, which means two things. Usually it could mean, bi-weekly is it comes out twice a week. This actually comes out twice a month. So it won't be coming out in January, it will be coming out in February because you do have the bigger issue, which I'm actually okay with. I actually liked having like 50 pages of a book to read. I could wait the extra month, even though I don't want to wait the extra month. Now, I'd also say, I told you that I wasn't a fan of the New 52 Supergirl, and even the DC Rebirth Supergirl I wasn't a fan of. So I've been really searching for a good Supergirl story, and I've been a Supergirl fan all my life. It was one of the first characters I ever got into, and I've been reading comic books all my life, and I know the history of Supergirl, and with this book, I loved it. What it's about Kara Danvers as a regular teen, and they do something different in this book that you'll never see in another Supergirl book, that they can really only get away with an out of continuity book, and that is exactly what she says in the Supergirl TV show. Hey, I'm Kara Danvers, I come from Krypton, blah 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 blah, is what they don't do here. It's what they strip away. So Kara does not remember Krypton, and that's always been the crust of her character, is that she knows Krypton, she came to Earth to help her cousin, and then realizes, oh wait, my cousin never needed help. What the hell do I do with my life in this alien planet? That always put her in the shadow of Clark. It always put her in the shadow of the Krypton's mythology. Finally, this is a story that is about Kara Danvers from the beginning, or, Kara Zor-El, but for this story, it's Kara Danvers. So that is what I loved about this book, is actually stripping that part away for now. There is points in the book where she's probably going to learn more about Krypton, she's going to learn more about her history, but you focus on Kara as a character in this first issue. So she doesn't remember anything about Krypton. She crash landed in her parents' farm 8 years ago. So very similar to Clark's story. And she lands in the Danvers farm. She goes to school like a normal kid, and, she questions the world like a normal kid, which is really cool. Like a smart, someone who's starting to develop her thoughts. And you see that with, a history paper she has to write. She questions these things and talks about it at the kitchen table. But she talks about it like a teen, which I really appreciate. I think the biggest highlight of this book is that the writer actually makes this feel like a teen book. A lot of times I feel like with teen books, some writers, they pretend to write as a teen to kind of mock teenage and young adult life. And I really appreciate that this is not mocking that culture. It is embracing that that Kara is a teenager. And I really like that they had the two friends. So who are also introduced in this book are Dolly and I believe the other friend name is Jen. So Jen, she's kind of an athletic girl. She wants to become part of the Olympics. And also, her other friend, Dolly, is far from what she's named. She's not a country singer. She knows that she is gay, and she embraces who she is as her identity. Both these characters embrace who they are. And Kara doesn't really know who she is. And that's what I like, is that this is very much a story about being an alien, biologically. Supergirl's an alien, has no idea what's going on with her body, but it's really this exaggerated story of being a teenager. Because we're at Kara's point of view, she feels that everyone around her knows exactly what they're doing, which I think a lot of teens feel. And she says, oh, all my friends know what they're doing, obviously my parents know what they're doing, and I feel like the world is complicated. I don't know my past, and I don't like beginnings. So it's her exploring this alien body she has, which again is a total exaggeration of teenagers dealing with hormones, and then her figuring out who she is as a person, because she doesn't really have a past. So I really like that. And she does have some powers already, so she knows she's different. She has her super strength, but then she's starting to develop more powers. She starts to get sick. And that shows that she's having hormones, and even her mom says that. And now, towards the end of the issue, she has this big track meet. She's not feeling so great, and there's this earthquake, and you don't know who survives. And you see that Kara already has these heroic instincts within her. So this is not because of Superman saying, you must be Supergirl, or even her having to hide her identity, or be Supergirl in secret like she was in the Silver Age. This is Kara saying, I'm gonna be heroic because my friends are in trouble. And I love the design of her tracksuit was very similar to the colors of what she would wear as a Supergirl costume. And the artwork in general also brings that wonderful teen vibe that is needed. I love the page where Kara is holding up the tractor with one arm and texting her friends with the other. So I love this book. This is exactly what I wanted the Supergirl book to be when it was released in DC Rebirth, to really show Kara as a teen, have that part of her trying to be human as she's also an alien, and trying to balance that, and also taking her away from Superman's shadow and making her her own character even more. So I love this issue, even though there are some different aspects of her origins, like she doesn't remember Krypton, and it's a big crust of her character, and then she has these glowing hand powers, which is I'm curious about. So even though there are obviously things that are not exactly like Supergirl's origins, this brings out Kara's character more than a story I've read in the past couple of years. I think it's could be one of the best Supergirl stories I've read, or is really out there. So I really enjoyed this book. I can't wait to read more. I think the development for the other characters, the development of Kara, the language of this book was so well done. I like that the writer actually adds some likes in there. It definitely brings in the dialogue of a teen. So I really enjoyed this book. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It definitely could be my pick of the week, so I'll have to read my other books. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Supergirl Being Super. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.